So this guy looked so different, and he said, I went on a religious pilgrimage. And I said, really? Like, what kind of religion? He goes, I'm a Catholic. And I went to this place over in this little tiny village in a communist country where these children are allegedly claiming that they see people from heaven, or the Blessed Virgin Mary. And they claim, and he goes, I went over there. And he said, Dave, it's real. I saw miracles. And he started telling me about it. And all of a sudden I look at him and I go, oh no.
Oh no.
This guy, he's a religious lunatic, I thought, and I didn't want to catch it. I just started backing up and I said, oh, that's really nice. That's really
so glad you're doing well. It was great to see you.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear about it. Yep. I was gone. I zipped out of there. And I remember telling my wife, I went home, I go, oh, the poor guy, he's gone off the deep end. He believes all this stuff, and something resonated. All the next week or so, I kept thinking about him. Because how does a person express joy and peace and serenity and all that? You can't make that up. And it was on his face and it was in his actions. And so I thought, there must be something. So the next week I looked for him. He was at the next swim meet. And I went up to him and he said, I was hoping I'd see you. I brought a pamphlet about this place that I went to. So I said, okay. And I read it. And I was hoping that I could talk to him about it. And I devoured this pamphlet. I just read it. And it just talked about things that were in my heart, It just resonated. The first words that these young people in this little communist village that had no running water, they had wells, it had no electricity.
Where is this?
It was in a little village in Croatia. But at the time it was, it was a communist country consisting of all those.
USSR?
Yeah, it was part of USSR. Okay. So anyway, he said he saw these miracles. And I'm reading about all this, and I knew I had to go. I just thought, you know what? This is the thought that entered my mind. If I was alive 2,000 years ago, and somebody came and they told me that there's this guy walking around, and he's healing people, and he's walking on water and raising people from the dead, and he's saying the most amazing things, what would I have done? And I hope that I would have said, I would have sought him out. I would have wanted to go, right? And I felt that right now. If this is really happening in this little backwater village in nowhere land, right, a communist country, I need to go. I need to find out if it's true. Right? I just had to. And so I went home and told my wife. She got mad. She goes, I'd rather go to Hawaii or something. Why are you going to go over there,
Croatia.
Yeah. So anyway, I bought a ticket and went by myself, all alone. And I went to this village and I experienced what my goofy friend, his name is Dave too, my goofy friend Dave experienced. I saw miracles. I witnessed things. It was amazing. I didn't know that those things could happen today. You always hear about them happening in the past.
Right.
Right. And then of course you don't know if they're exaggerated or whatever, right? And I'm very skeptical, and I always try to keep my feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. I went to this place, and my prayer on the way home, I was so taken. My prayer on the way home on the airplane was, Dear Lord, help me to be different. I want to be different. I want to change my life. But please don't make me a religious fanatic.
Yeah. What was the biggest miracle you saw, if you're willing to share?
Well, I saw physical miracles.
Okay.
Like you could look directly into the sun and something would come in front of it. And, usually you look in the sun, burns your eyes.
Yeah.
You destroy your eyes. No, it was like a host, something around in front of the sun. And you could see the rays of light behind it. But thousands of people could look up. But then people right next to you couldn't see it.
What?
So it wasn't something that everyone saw. It was only some people could see it. I could look directly in the sun. It's the most amazing thing.
People that had eaten something, drank some water?
No, nothing.
No.
Just went there in faith. Just had faith. They went there, and it was like, you wonder why, but it was like a sign that what was happening was true.
Okay.
All right? So I saw different signs like that. I had a rosary. I never prayed the rosary. Mm-hmm. It's an old lady's prayer, repetitive. I didn't like it. But I got there, and everybody's praying the rosary. So I prayed the rosary. And as I'm praying the rosary, I'm looking at that, and I had a silver chain, black beads, the whole chain and everything, crucifix, altar and gold, in my hands. I go, what the heck? Huh. And then I thought maybe I was out in the sun and I wasn't seeing right.
Okay.
So there's some guy sitting next to me.
You're looking for a logical reason.
Yeah. And then I started thinking that maybe in this communist country they make trick rosaries. But things like that. And other miracles. There were many others. But the major one was in a person. There's these young people that allegedly see and can touch this woman from heaven, the Blessed Virgin Mary. And she speaks to them, and they relate messages. So I don't know. I didn't know if I believed. And I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, I'm in this village, and I'm thinking, I'd really like to see one of these young people. The crowds, there's thousands of people. Like, there have been 40 million people have gone to this little village now.
Wow.
Maybe more. So everybody clamors to be around them. They want to touch them and all. I didn't want to do that. But I wanted to see them, to talk, to hear them, because I thought, I'm kind of a salesman. And I know I'm a good judge of people, and I'll know if they're telling the truth. I'll know if there's a ulterior motive or a selfish motive or whatever. So I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I hear some people speaking English, American English, standing over there. So I kind of go up next to them because I didn't know anybody. I'm in this country where every language in the world is there, So I go over to the Americans. I'm kind of just standing there. I'm a little lonely by myself. And one of the gals looks at me and she goes, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from California." "Oh, we're from Cleveland or something." She goes, "We're going to go. We've been invited to go to one of the young people's homes. Would you want to go with us?" I said, that was just what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So we went. And so you ask, what was the catalyst? This young girl, 18, 19, 20 years old, she comes out. She's so simply, humbly dressed, and she comes out and she's a little shy. And she comes out and there's a translator that would translate her language, Croatian to English. And she said, "I welcome you here, and I would like to tell you what this woman from heaven, the Blessed Virgin Mary, is saying." And Americans start taking pictures. And she looked really sad. She goes, please put your cameras down. That's not why you're here. I'm not important. What's important is the message that she's giving the world. And I thought, well, that's a good sign. Anyway, she started talking. I'd never heard anything so profound in my life. And here this girl's 18 or 20. The depth with which she talked. The meaning of things. And she looked at every person with this real love, just every person she looked in your eyes. And when she made contact with you, you felt like she knew you, right? I just go, oh my gosh. And then somebody asked her, "How much do you pray?" And I looked at this person, I thought, that's a dumb question. Why you ask somebody that, right? And she smiles and she says, "Well, in the beginning, I didn't really know how to pray well." She say, "I say a few Our Fathers or whatever." She goes, "But now," she goes, "I've offered my entire life as a prayer. Everything I do, I offer to God as a prayer." Well, I'd never heard anything like that. And I looked at her and I realized what's happening here is true.
Wow.
Because that girl isn't making it up. You could tell.
Yeah.
She was real, right? So I turned around, and that's when I said, "God, you got to help me be different." Because I was so far away from what she was.
With the anger inside?
Yeah. The humility, the love for others, the forgiveness, and I was I mean, I was actually afraid to be near her because I knew it was inside of me, this
Wow.
anger and rage. So that was the turning point in my life. This was the turning point in my life. And I came back and totally different life. And my wife wanted to leave me because I was different.